You're listening to the Trade Show Insights Podcast, Season 18, Episode 9. I'm your host and exhibit marketing strategist, Marlis Arnold, bringing you tools to improve your exhibit results. On today's episode, brought to you by the Exhibit Marketers Cafe, we've got some lessons about creating smooth transitions from maybe a slightly unexpected source. At one point when I was growing up, I wanted to be an architect. I loved the idea of creating a space that connected with people's emotions and created a feeling of excitement, awe, or peacefulness. Now, while I didn't pursue that career path, I've continued to be fascinated by architecture. Several years ago, I discovered and now follow one of the most forward-thinking, award-winning architects focused on using smart building design to create experiential environments that enlighten, inspire, and delight. Her name is Maria Lorena Lehman, and she's the founder of Sensing Architecture. And while I don't have her as a guest on the podcast today, maybe someday, I did want to share some inspiration from one of her latest newsletters with you. The topic is the principle of transition. Now, of course, she's talking about intentionally designing how a person moves from space to space or room to room within a building. But the same holds true around the trade show floor or inside a booth space. Are you crafting a traffic flow that tells a story? Or are you consciously designing that flow at all? Where should an attendee's journey in your space begin? And what comes next? These are all valid questions to consider when you're designing for the show. But it doesn't stop with the architecture of the space. Guiding the transition is important when considering your booth staff too. Do you have a smooth way to hand a guest off between areas in your exhibit? Or perhaps guiding them through the entire in-booth journey? I mean, it's sad when an attendee is left to fend for themselves with no direction inside an absolutely stunning exhibit. As Maria Lorena says, you can give them hints about what is to come, or you can minimize what awaits them to ultimately give them a grand surprise. Either strategy can work on the show floor, but the key is to know what your strategy is, then educate each booth staffer on how to put it into practice. Now, she goes on to talk about helping people synthesize what they are experiencing so that they form memories that will linger long after they've exited the space. Now, isn't that exactly what you want your exhibit or event to accomplish? And finally, she says the key is to think about transition as a means of preparation for what is next. In a trade show booth, that means guiding them on the journey from a lead or badge scan all the way to becoming a customer and advocate for your brand. You won't accomplish that by accident. It takes a carefully structured plan for follow-up after the show. Nurture your leads and help them to recall the experience they had in your booth. Help keep that positive memory alive. Now, if you're intrigued to read more insights from Maria Lorena Lehman, I've curated some other posts from her blog in the show notes at tradeshowinsights.com. Because you always want to take advantage of opportunities to learn from visionary thinkers, both inside and outside your industry. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like more, you can subscribe to the Trade Show Insights podcast and automatically receive future episodes on your chosen device. Simply search for Trade Show Insights in Apple, Spotify, or virtually anywhere else that podcasts are found, then click the subscribe button. Trade Show Insights is protected by the Creative Commons copyright license. You may feel free to share this recording with colleagues or embed it on your own blog as long as it's shared in its entirety and is not used for commercial purposes. To learn more, please see the link in the sidebar of the show notes at TradeShowInsights.com. Well, that's it for this episode of Trade Show Insights. Be sure to check out our show notes and archives at TradeShowInsights.com. You can also connect with me using the social media links or the contact page on the site. I'm Marlis Arnold. Thanks for listening, and be sure to join us next time for more tools to improve your exhibit results.